Hello, my lovely edge dwellers. Lucca here, Power Sorcerer. Welcome to episode 30 of Ask Lucca Live. We'll be starting up in about 2 minutes. So I'm on here as usual a few minutes early to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to find us. So if you're coming on and watching this in the recording, you will probably want to forward about 2 minutes in. Hi, Flora. Forward 2 minutes in, and then you'll get the true start of the session. So we're in the collection stage at the moment for everyone to show up, and we'll see how many people are able to make it today, because it is today Thanksgiving in Canada, which is so appropriate for me to be doing this at Thanksgiving, because this is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm always thankful when I can do this. So we might have lower numbers. We'll have to see. And if we do, we'll catch everybody on the recording, which is also great. Thank God for technology. So we're up to 3 now, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. One person showed up early today and wondered where I was, and that's anticipation. There's an old ad that used to say anticipation. Hi, Jen. I like anticipation. Personally, I'm a fan of anticipation. Some people find it nerve-wracking, but I quite enjoy it. So it's good. So I should while I'm waiting, I should dig out. I have 3 questions ahead of time today. So if anybody has any questions that they'd like me to answer, when I get to that stage, I'll ask you for them, and then you can put them in the comments at that time. Because if you put them in now, I have to scroll back, which takes more time when I'm actually doing the readings. So, hi, Desiree. So yeah, 3 today. Which doesn't mean there aren't more questions out there. It just means I only got 3 ahead of time. I forgot to put my reminder out earlier this morning. And that's often when I get lots of people. It's like, oh my God, it's coming. I have to get my question in. So, so we're up to 5. I feel like I'm doing a countdown. So I probably should keep talking so that all of you can, you got something to hear, so you know you've got your audio on. That's I start every session with, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" It's like the old CB radios. I'm dating myself here, where you need to hear somebody at the other end so that you know. Okay, we're up to 7. This is looking healthy. Hi, Tracy. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you who have fast forwarded, I'm Lucca, Power Sorcerer, and this is episode 30 of Ask Lucca Live on October the 10th, which is my nephew's birthday, which is kind of cool. Hi, Karen. So I have a New Zealander and an Australian on here today, which is great. Mind you, the Australian's here in Canada. The New Zealander is in New Zealand. So what I say to everybody when I start these sessions is that your gut feel about what's right for you is more important than anything anybody can tell you, and that includes me. So don't give your power away to anyone else. You are the expert on you. You are the only one who's been in your body in this incarnation from the beginning. So that's really important. And if I say anything to you that doesn't quite make sense, then I encourage you to put it in a holding tank and wait until you get some validation. So I have pinned to the top of the group a few points about things to keep in mind as I do a reading. So those of you who have been with me here before already know about all of those and have heard me say them verbally. But I don't get a chance to go through all of them here on the session. Hi, Pepper. So I pin them to the top, especially if there's anybody who's new to the group. And I remind all of you that if you know anybody that you think would be happy to join this group, you are all empowered to add people to the group. It's not just me who can add folks. So if I'm adding folks, they have to be a friend of mine, so I can put them in. So people who want to join, who are not coming through you, need to friend me first. So I've got all kinds of interesting friend invitations at the moment, and some of them not people who want to join the group. So I'm learning to be discerning here. I think that's all you need to know ahead of time. Very interesting times that we're in at the moment. I've been noticing changes in the energy this month in particular, and so have all my energy tuned in people. So I'd be really interested to know what you guys are noticing. One of the people I know online posted something from someone else who channels information, who said that this is an opportunity for all of us right now to notice what we notice, and then very deliberately choose to react from a place of love as opposed to a place of lower vibrations, whatever those lower vibrations happen to be. So there's nothing wrong with being angry or sad or any emotion. So express it, but you don't necessarily need to express it publicly or without having processed it first. So I thought it was a good point. Sometimes it feels really good to blast someone in the moment, but it doesn't always feel good afterwards. So we get a pause this month to actually choose deliberately what it is that we'd like to do in terms of a reaction. Just something to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our first question, which is from and any of you who are joining us for the first time, you can send in a question as long as you get it to me by noon of Saturday, and then I'll include it on my list. If I have space and time, then you can throw it into the comments. But normally it's get it in ahead and first come, first served. So I put the first one at the top of the list and we go from there. So here's what's on the top of the list this week. And we didn't have any left over from last week. I managed to get to them all. This one's from Charlene. She says, I have recently connected through Ancestry. I assume that's ancestry.com. With relatives seeking info on different great-grandparents who passed long before I was born. I have the facts, quote unquote, about each, but frankly, they're a bit grim. I wonder if there are any messages that can help me to understand more about either before I share their stories. And then she's given me the names of the people that she's trying to get some information on. If you're watching in the replay here, Charlene, the information that you would like. Information about our ancestors is very interesting, and I've done a little bit of work on this on my own. I wasn't able to go back into ancestral records, so I had to do it psychically. And I got information that was surprising to me, that I didn't know, that made a lot of sense. And I also got information that I did know that validated. But I always wonder when I'm picking things up intuitively, if I get what I was expecting, whether I just created it, because I'm capable of creating like anybody else is. And so the guides, because I'm tuning into my guides, my helpers, my higher self, and all of that for all of you as well as the dead pets and dead relatives and the angelic realm and the intergalactic realm and whatever else happens to show up here today. But what I'm getting today about relatives is that there are a number of ways that we get what makes us who we are in this time and space. One of them is genetic. So we choose, I talk about this, about sitting up there on our puffy white cloud, right? We choose which ancestral line we're going to come into. And I think that there are times when we have been in that ancestral line before, if you look at time as being linear. But the more I do this work, the more I understand that time is not linear unless we choose to look at it that way. It's a bit like waves and particles in physics. If you look for waves, you find waves. If you look for particles, you find particles. They're both equally valid, and you don't necessarily see both of them at the same time. So the same thing is true about time and space. So if you imagine that we're working from our nucleus right here and now of who we are and the choices that we're making in this moment. And then as we go out from there, we have other lifetimes that are all running concurrent to this one. But each one has its flavor, if you like. And the flavor often has to do with our linear time, because that's how we're looking at it. We study history. In history, we say there's a before, a during, and an after. There's a beginning and an end. And so we tell stories. We say in the beginning there was, right? So we can go in and we can choose a family, a genetic lineage that we're going to participate in. And very often we're participating in it in order to receive something from it, and also sometimes to give back to it. So that means that it is participatory, and we have influence in it. So that's the genetic lineage. We also bring in our soul lineage, and I haven't met anybody in all my 30 years or more of doing this now whose immediate family is not part of their soul family. And the soul family is like a cast of characters in a play. And if you move on and you do another play, you may work with the same actor again, but they may not be in the same role, and you may not be in the same role, unless you're a person who always plays the hero. But even then, it's a different character. So those both play in together. And when I pick up information, and Pepper, I was talking to you about this I think it was the last session, or perhaps two before, that when we're picking up other lifetimes, we're not picking up every single other lifetime. We're picking up the ones that are relevant to the choices that we're making in this present moment. Even present is difficult, right? Because our frame of reference is entirely about linear time. So our language is about linear time. But imagine that this particular point is where we have the ability to make changes. And those changes can be healing changes. They can be changes that help us with our understanding. So when I come to this question from Charlene, this is a long introduction to your question, Charlene, that you want to bear all of that in mind as you're getting your information about ancestors. So I don't have information about, so my body acts like a pendulum, right? I don't have information about Rose, who's the first one. William, I have information about. And I don't know why. And no, they're saying we don't need to know why, at least not in this setting. So William, let me see what do I pick up on William? It's a blank. So what I'm getting is that William doesn't want you to have any information, because he says that from this place where you are at the moment, Charlene, that information would have an effect that is counter to what you would prefer. In other words, you have an intention around this, around why you're doing this. And if he gave you any information, then it would go against what your intention is right now. And that, it doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It just means that it would be counterproductive. William is in your sphere. He's not one of your guides. He's not immediately present with you, but he's in your sphere. You can call him in if you want him there. So what he's suggesting is that you will get to another place with your research around this where you will be ready to hear what he can tell you. So you can keep checking in with him. So it's like you go out there with your bullhorn and you say, awooga, awooga. I need to check in with you, and William will show up. And then you can ask him, you can say, this is what my intention is right now. Is now the right time? And he'll say yes or no. And you'll hear that clearly is what I'm getting. So this is not at all what I was expecting to get. And I've never had ancestors come through in this way before. So Charlene, this is a new way of doing things. So I don't imagine that feels terribly useful to you at the moment, but that's what they're telling me right now. And from Rose, nope, definitely no information from Rose, no information, period. She's not even saying come back later. I'm just getting a no, don't go there. And I always honor the no, don't go there. I had one, I remember sitting in an Indian restaurant in London once with a friend of mine, and he had a friend who had disappeared when he was a teenager, like just disappeared, went poof and disappeared, went to the States, and then was never heard from again. And he wanted to know, he was a little bit testing my abilities. He wanted to know what had happened to this friend. And I was told very clearly, for the first time in the work that I had done, I was told very clearly, do not go there. And I of course honored it, and I never found out why, because to find out why, I'm already going there. So, okay, so that's Charlene. Second question today is from Tracy. Tracy says, will the liquid protocol I'm taking relieve the pain in my neck and shoulders? If not, what can I do? No, it won't. It's not that it's not beneficial at all. It's that it's not going to relieve the pain in your neck and shoulders, because it doesn't deal with the cause of the pain in your neck and shoulders. So are they? I'm just asking here whether they want me to tell you what that pain is coming from. It's a ricochet pain, is what they're saying to me. So, because normally I'd go in and I'd ask what's going on in your willpower and your self-expression, because that's what that chakra is about. But they're saying that's not where it originates. It originates in your sacrum. And so they're saying that you need to do something that will open up the energy in your sacrum. And you won't do that until you're ready. So the question that you want to ask here is of yourself, of your higher self, and of your guides. Am I ready for this? And to go in as gently as you can possibly go in. You have a tendency to treat your body like it's a giant petri dish and experiment with it, because you're really curious and because you've had things go out of alignment with your body. And so you're not afraid to try different modalities and experiment with them to find out what might work and what might not. They're saying around this issue with your sacrum, it is a tightening, and the tightening has, and they're twisting it slightly, creates a blockage. And so they want you to go in there like you're going in with a fairy feather. They want you to be gentle with yourself. They're saying a little tiny bit of manipulation will go a long way. And they're saying don't do it all at once. Do it a little bit and then go away and see what comes up emotionally and process it and integrate it before you go back for any more. So that's what they're saying about this. They're not saying that this protocol will do you any harm. So, will it do you any good is my next question. No, but it won't do you any harm either. So I hope it hasn't cost you a lot out of pocket for this, but it's not going to get at the root cause of what's going on here. You might want, if it keeps, you might want to sit on it for a little while. It might do more after you've dealt with your sacrum. But they're saying come back and ask again about that. Don't have to ask me. You can ask your higher self. You can muscle test, and you know how to do that. So you'll get to figure that out. So that's your answer, Tracy. And Desiree, I see your question there, so I will come back to it after I've done this next one. I think we'll have time for it. So Pepper wants to know, I am working with an energy healer. I believe in him. Am I going in the right direction? So Pepper, let's see. Yes. Yes, you're going in the right direction. Is this yes, this is the right person for you to work with. What they're telling me is that you'll get a certain distance with this particular healer, and then it'll be time to switch to another one, because something else will come up that, that's interesting. They're making me look up. The next piece after that, after you've got the pieces with him, and you'll know when you've got as far as you can with him, because it'll start to feel like you're not making any progress. Then you want to go up. You want to check with your higher self and your guides and the angelic realm, and then you'll get the next piece. But he's perfect for opening the doors that you want to open right now. So that's a fairly short and sweet answer to that one. Okay, so Desiree, let me read on here your question. Is there any new advice for us and our new home adventure? Looks like the offer was accepted. Anything else we need to know? So Desiree's just bought a new house in another province. Well, not another province, in a province, because you're in a territory now. So let's have a look and see. It feels good. Good. It's such a nebulous word, right? It doesn't really say anything. So let's see. I got another. Yeah, you're very welcome, Pepper. So house is good. The move is not going to go the way you expect it to. It's not going to be terrible, but it's not going to be the way you expect. So when it doesn't do what you expect it to do, don't freak out, because ultimately it's going to be okay. Ultimately, this move is fine. You're going on a journey, and the house is the first step and the beginning of this journey. I'm not sure that there's some change coming up with the house in about, and bearing in mind that time and space are not what we think they are. So this is a probability only, but it feels like about a year to 18 months from now, there will be another choice that you can make around this house. I'm not saying that you'll move out of it or that you'll have to move out of it, but there will be another house-related choice to make around that time. I'm seeing you staying in the same town for a while. It feels like it's a good spot for you. I feel like you and your partner are going to both make some friends. The kids, I think, are going to have to rely on one another for a little while. The friendship making is not going to move quite as quickly as all of you would prefer that it do, but then there'll be a little breakthrough, and then the friendships will come. But I think that you, in particular, will make a friend pretty early on. It'll be one of those, the person helps you to settle in kind of friendships, and you're welcome, Tracy. It'll be a good one. Your partner will make a friend, I think, through work. So it won't be somebody who's right in your community necessarily, but it feels like that is going to be a lifelong friendship. So lots of some good stuff here around friends and community. There's going to be a different flavor of community where you're moving. Not better, but different than the one that you have where you are now. The community where you are now is going to miss you, and I feel like some of them are going to come and visit you because you have some strong connections right there. So that feels pretty good. No other information for you. They're telling me that you have, Desiree, you have very strong intuition, and that this is now the time in your life for you to experiment with it. And you'll get validation pretty quickly because the time that you spent living in the Yukon has elevated your vibration level, and so that's made everything move faster. So that means that when you get a piece of information or you make a choice or you need to make a choice, things move along quite quickly. I know it took a while to find a house for yourself, but it could have taken a lot longer. And there was a lot going on during that time, and there will be a lot going on between now and when you move. So just be open to all of those pieces. So does anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask today? Because we have about 8 minutes left today. We don't usually have an opportunity to slide questions in there. So Desiree says, oh, you can all of you guys can read the chat too. No, wait a minute. Yeah. Yes, stay tuned. Yes, I think you need to move first, Desiree. Definitely, you need to move first, get that settled, and then you'll be ready to start on your. Yes, exactly. Just need to settle. Yeah, perfect. So anybody else got a question? I'm not. As I wait for it, let's see if I've got anything else coming through from our guides and helpers. They're saying that. And I've been picking this up from a number of different sources, not just mine, but mine as well. So, Jen, I see your symptoms question, and I'll come back to that as soon as I finish this thought. That this month in particular is it's a pivotal month. It's a month when things that weren't possible before are flipping, and now they are possible. So, if you've tried things before, then try them again this month, and keep your best outcome in mind in setting your intentions, and visit the joy of that outcome over and over again, because it's going to do even more now than it's ever been able to do when you've put that out there before. So go ahead and enjoy that. Okay, so. So here, let me go back here to Jen. Jen says, wait a minute, I need to see the whole thing. More layers of body symptoms showing up and frankly annoying me. Yes. Love universal support via understanding of what's happening. Yes. Part of this, Jen, is not you. It's what's going on energetically. What I'm picking up is that there's something about where you're living right now that is, it's like when water goes through the narrows and it gets more powerful because it's being forced through the narrows. There's something about energy being forced through a form of narrows where you live. So if you're feeling all these symptoms, if you go somewhere else for the day and come back again, you'll give your body a little bit of reprieve and, kind of let the car go where it wants to go. And then you'll know what can happen. So we tend to think, this is me, I'm master of my own destiny. Things manifest on the physical last. I should be checking in with all of this. It must be me. There must be something I can do. What do I need to understand? What do I need to learn? Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it is the circumstances. It's not time for you to move yet. But you have a car and you can escape. So if you need to escape and go somewhere else, go somewhere else. The somewhere else needs to be, if you're staying on the North Shore, it needs to be the other side of the Second Narrows Bridge. So from there west, and you'll be able to feel it ease up a bit as you go. Don't be afraid about coming back home again once you've been out for long enough. Just put the bubble around yourself and then head back home and program that bubble that it will buffer. But you've just given your body a reprieve. It's like when you've been holding bags for too long, you put them down for a while, then you can pick them up again. All right, and you're helping in that area. You're holding energy in that area where you live, and that's one of the reasons that you're still there. Who knew? How interesting. Okay. Pepper wants to know, is coactive coaching for me? No, it isn't. Coaching, not pure coaching. So what I'm seeing is go in from another direction. You'll get something that is, you need to learn to do something on your own first, and then reach out and be collaborative with other people. And I know some about coactive coaching. This is not a comment about coactive coaching, whether it's any good. It's about what you need right now. So at the moment, you have an opportunity to really tune in to your own inner knowing about things, really hear your own intuition loud and clear, and then add in the other professional modalities on top of that. But get the intuition piece first. That's really important because that's going to be your linchpin. That's going to be what you base everything else off of. All right, so that's Pepper. Tracy says, is flinchlock release to continue with that the way for me to go? No. So you're thinking, I'm assuming, flinchlock release because it's capitalized, as a modality to deal with your sacrum. And they're saying it's not that modality isn't right. It's that person who's practicing it on you wouldn't be right. But flinchlock, not necessarily. There are other ways that you can work with it. So I don't know if you've got anybody around you who does, you'll know. You'll know. Muscle test it, and you'll know, and you know how to do that. I believe you know how to do that. Okay, Karen says, let me see so I can see more of the question. Half the issues with the government have been dropped. What else do I need to do? Sit tight for the time being, Karen. That is really great to hear that half the issues with the government have been dropped. Hold on a little longer. What they're saying right now is about 2 months more. So I guess like towards the end of the year, and then you'll start with a fresh slate in January. But there's a lot is going to happen in the world over the next 2 months. So the picture's going to look very different, and you won't have to do anything except keep holding your intention. Keep holding your intention for the best outcome possible for all the people involved, including the people who've been doing dastardly things. All right, next question. Charlene, let's see if we can get this one in. We can, I think. So interesting that in both cases, the answer supports my own intuition and what I know about William and Rose. Fantastic. That's so great. That's so great. I love hearing that. Okay. Jen says, very helpful and informative. Mucho gracias. Absolutely. My pleasure. Pepper says the same. Tracy says yes. Okay. All right. We've got everybody, and it's bang on 2:00. So how perfect is that? So thank you all for being here. I was going to say, here's the truth bomb card. It's going to be backwards for you. You might have to look it in the mirror because Facebook doesn't flip it around again. But it says, this is one I chose before we started the session today. It says, we know each other. And we do. The world is a community. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in New Zealand or if you're in Africa or you're here. Time and space does not matter. We do know each other on the most elemental level. So that's one to leave with you today. And also, it's Thanksgiving here, and my gratitude goes out to all of you for participating in this community. You all mean a lot to me, and being able to do this work really means a lot to me. I feel bright and shiny when I do it, and you guys help with that. And when you ask questions, it brings the information out, and it encourages all of those wonderful connections. So fantastic. I'm going to stick around just for a few minutes and talk a little bit about the services that I offer. So if you already know about them and you don't need to know anything more, then that's fine. I bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. No matter where you are in the world, let's send a little bit of Canadian gratitude with you today. And then I'll just spend a few minutes talking a little bit about what we have here. And don't forget that you can invite people to join the group. And I am posting a few things on the group page. I have posted a few things. I will post a few more. So stay tuned because there's stuff coming. So what I do is I call myself a power sorcerer, and it's spelled SOURCERER. And so that's my website as well, powersorcerer.com. And the work that I do basically has two tangents to it. One of them is about doing readings for people, and the other one is about teaching people to hear their own intuition. So this is an example of doing readings for people. I can do 15-minute, what I call ping mini readings, which are $30. And that's the only one of my services right now that I have a fixed price on. So for the duration of this pandemic, I've opened up my rate system so that we can use our intuition to figure out what's the right price for any individual for whom my regular price is prohibitive. So I do ping mini readings. I do hour-long readings. I do reading circles, which I've now moved online, and that's anywhere from at the moment I've lowered it to 6 people, but after the pandemic is over, it'll be between 10 and 15 people. But right now it's between 6 and 15 people. And if you want to host one, your job is to just pull the group together. And there's a thank you gift from me as a thank you for doing that, and that's a free hour-long reading afterwards. So that's that part of, and I do these once a week, and I will keep doing these until I'm told to stop doing them. But right now it's looking like it'll go until the end of the year. And all the recordings of these are in several different places. They're on my YouTube channel, which you can reach through the landing page on my website. They're on here. I post them on my Facebook page at Power Sorcerer, and I also post them on Instagram, where when I can, I post them on MeWe, which is another social media platform that is not a paid platform and doesn't manipulate algorithms, so I'm trying them out. So I have it in a number of different places so that you can get hold of the recording if you happen to miss one, or if you put a question in and you're not able to come physically. So that's the reading part of it. The other part of it is when I do instruction. So I do it through coaching, and I do it through doing a circle of people that I call a power circle. And those are people who know that they're intuitive and they want to learn how to use their intuition better, more effectively. And they're learning about it in community with 5 other people. So we do it. I'm about to launch this again onto, as soon as I have enough people, I will do it on Zoom so we can all see one another. It also means that people can participate if they're far away from where I am, which is wonderful, because there's a number of people who want to look at this and who are in another province or another country. So thank God for the internet. I really, really appreciate the internet for allowing us to continue doing all of this work and making this contact, because it truly doesn't matter energetically. It doesn't matter how we're doing it. So the coaching I do, I call it niche coaching, and it is one-on-one with you around how to use your intuition, how to hear it, how to know how it comes through, and very specifically the application to what it is that you're working with at the moment. So especially if you're doing something in terms of your own healing or your own professional life, how do you use it? Because I've used my intuition on a professional level, not just I do this as a profession, but I've used it when I've been running groups, and I've used it when I was working in the business world. So I have a lot of experience around how to use your intuition along with all of your logical, reasonable, rational skills that are the yang side to the yin of the intuition. So I have free exploratory sessions for everything that I do. Where I don't, with the coaching, which I call Power in Your Back Pocket, and with the power circles, there are sessions, and we actually do something during the session so that you can feel what it's like to do some work with me, because I don't want anybody to commit to the time and the energy and the resources to do something like this unless it feels like it's a good fit. So you can book those through the booking page on my website. And I also have a 15-minute exploratory session for readings, because if you have never had a reading before, or somebody you know has never had a reading before, then it's an opportunity to find out how I do what I do before you commit to having an hour-long session, or even commit to having a ping session. So that's the So that's that one. So you can get information about how a reading works as well as information about other things. If you think you might like to host a circle, then you can book an exploratory session with me about that as well. So I'm always reachable through my website. There's a little pop-up window that's for contacting me, and there's also a contact page if you've got pop-ups blocked on your browser. So lots of ways to get hold of me, and you can also get hold of me through all my social media platforms. And I'll get back in touch with you, and then we can talk personally if that's what will fit for you. So thank you so much for sticking around today. This will be up. The recording will be up on Facebook. It'll be up almost immediately, and then on the other platforms, YouTube and Instagram and MeWe, it'll be up by 3:00. Because I need to go away and do some uploading stuff. So have a lovely Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me. I do enjoy this so much. And remember, until next time, that you too can speak intuition.